Hola Bandidos, ¿cómo estamos? Welcome to Mel's Magic Official. I'm Magic Mel and this is my angel Charles. Welcome to episode 16 of season 11. I didn't sleep well last night. I cried myself to sleep and I woke up crying, thinking about the tremendous loss of life in Gaza, especially the children. And opening my heart to the suffering. And then I went about my day at a kind of slower pace than usual. I think especially about the children, because we know that children are the hope of the future. And connecting to their suffering, I also thought about my own story. Maybe you're somebody like me who also thought you had the perfect childhood. But looking back, I had to admit to myself that there was a lot of pain. And as I went to therapy, my therapist, my dream analyst, she pointed out, you talk about it as if it didn't really matter what happened. I talked about it almost like objectively. Oh yeah, well, that happened. And she guided me to really acknowledge the suffering that little Melanie went through in that moment. My core wounding I had to deal with was the wounding of abandonment. And I have a photograph of myself in my bathroom because it reminds me that this version of me is still alive inside. And it's a way for me to honor her. Because as I made amends with myself, I had to ask her for forgiveness. And I had to resource her from an adult point of view back into the memory to give her the support and the love that she was maybe in that moment in her life missing. So I just keep her there in my bathroom as a reminder that if I am cruel to myself, I'm cruel to her. So she reminds me to be gentle with myself. So I prayed for the children of Gaza, but I prayed for all children. Who come here in quite harsh circumstances to learn, to survive, and then to adapt to our circumstances that we're born into, and then to unlearn the very adaptations that helped us to survive back in the day, but that are now blocking us from thriving. It's a horrific process in general. I also asked myself last night, like, why? Why does there have to be so much pain and suffering, like God? But if God created everything, Source created everything, then the contrast is part of it. Nowadays, though, this contrast, the darkness, our shadow, can no longer be ignored. We see in front of our eyes what we can no longer accept and what is no longer serving us, what is not functional, what is not healthy. And here at Mel's Magic Official, I talk about healing. I encourage you to look within you where you have rejected your own parts, your own inner child, where there's wounding in you that needs to be filled with light and love. I showed you this drawing that was part of my healing journey. That we as human beings, as alchemists, are able to transmute darkness and pain into light. Lead into gold. The way to do it is to expand our awareness, our capacity to hold the shadow, the pain, the darkness, and to infuse it with love from a higher perspective, and to then allow it to be released. You are an alchemist too. You're able to do that too. And I talked to here about how our healing goes hand in hand with reclaiming our power, our sovereignty, our ability to act from out of alignment. Because we're realizing that we've been abdicating our authority and our power to the powers that were, as if we were still children waiting for someone out there to save us, to take care of us. But we're realizing now that we need real leaders again. And that starts with being the leaders of our own life, with being the parent of our own inner child, to reparent ourselves, to be there in a way maybe that our parents were not able to be there for us emotionally, because they had their own struggles. So we can no longer expect from the outside what we cannot give to ourselves from the inside first. So it's about taking full accountability. I want to show you another drawing that I was really looking for, and I'm so glad I found it again. That had to do, was it the same? It was made 5 days after the other one. Can you see that? The horse here with the big black hole is a symbol for me 4 years ago, where I carried this black void and was almost eaten by that black void inside of me. But I received healing, and that hand is my hand. I realized that I had to be the one to enable, to allow my own healing to happen. Doesn't mean I didn't have help. I did call upon divine guidance, divine help, but I had to be willing to heal. And I was scared, to really look at that void in me. I was scared of facing my own shadow, my own darkness, but I had to do it. And as I faced that void, what I found was her. So the monster that I was expecting to find was just her crying out to me, asking for my awareness, asking to look at that wounding that happened a long time ago and to reintegrate her, because I was disconnected from my own pain. I had suppressed it for such a long time. So this was the 21st of January 2021. And up to this day, I am still healing, peeling off different layers. It's ongoing. I want to share a poem with you that I wrote also 3 years ago. The title is in Spanish, and it sounds better in Spanish, but in Spanish it's Un lamento antiguo. In English it would be something like an ancient lamentation, an ancient crying, a cry out. And it's about healing, reconnecting with our inner child, and transmuting the pain that maybe is not only ours, personal pain, but maybe also from our lineage, from our ancestors. I shared with you that in the process of healing, I told the universe, or I told my ancestors, like, the trauma ends with me. I want to be the one to transmute the pain, whatever it is. I want it to stop with me. I don't want to pass it on. So I'm going to read it to you. Un lamento antiguo. Let me wake the child in you and guide you to your primal scream. Un lamento antiguo. Un lamento antiguo. Into the tomb, into the cave, the belly, the whale, where nobody can go but you. Further down, to the edge of madness and broken glass, hauling your own weight and that of bygone dragons. Name the furies that splinter your innards. Stop the arrow, its looping course. You are the chosen one to break the spell. You are anointed by the fathers who came before. Go back into the wilderness, free fall into the abyss, looming large. Dive into the current, feral depths, and in the middle of the storm, hold your torch up high and choose to bear it. Step into the fear that calls your name and meet me at the gate of the burning city, for I too come from haunted lands. The siren song that aches to be heard, a witness at the slaughterhouse. I too wore the sacrificial mask. Silence seeps, its venom slow. Will you transmute the toxic flow? Cut open the wound that's festering. Let it bleed, open for all to see. Sift through the salt of your tears. Which is mine and which is yours? The bull across you at the threshold is you. The wolf sneering in the enteric halls is you. The ghost rattling the chains of execution is you. The monster guarding the corpses of your past is you. Enter the desert of your dreams and search for the key. Break open the chest of putrid bones that long to be burned and offered up in one last ritual to end the curse. Brooding has its been lying overcast in your lineage and throbbing veins. Cut the cords and release the pain. Unleash the black tear that is flooding your being. Remember the code and speak the words. Remember the seed of light that is buried under the shards of your own self-loathing. In turbid darkness, search for your sight. Hold up a mirror to the phantom and growl. Remove the arrows of your own passivity. Mend the wand and stand blind and naked in the cauldron of terror, for only by burning your cross will you purify your heart. Cast a new mold that is yours only, and with grace divine, transmute the gnawing hole that has been echoing oh so long in the catacombs of your soul? How long must the suffering be held until you surrender to your path? How tight the knot must it be pulled? How long will you wander in the labyrinth of despair? Observe the leaching of your being, redirect the rivers of lead into currents of vitality. Align in compassion with yourself bleeding. Pull out the thorns from your crown, for you are the king of your own sacred heart. Beseech the cosmic rhythm and start the march to the beat of your own drum and heart. Sing a new song, chant a pure note, let it flow harmoniously. Enter the fire of your wound, and from the smoldering ashes, rise through the veil and bear your heart, you, human, full of light and glory. Draw a circle while watching the devil, allow him too a place to rest. Look at me and find a reflection. The scars we bear stitched from one same thread. Pull it and you will be led to where it all began, the murder of our innocence. In the standstill of your vortex, the door to refuge is revealed. Dust off the bridge that leads you home, dissolve the weight and chant the rainbow. Take a new breath, full, and feel it. Find the vision with your true eyes. At the crossroads, claim your destiny. Touch the earth and behold the night sky. Can you not see the diamonds are yours? Let's have the courage to enter into the darkness of our pain, knowing that we will be guided, knowing that we are assisted, knowing that we can transmute our pain, and that by looking at it, we will empower ourselves. For we will then be able to see into the darkness clearly without being scared of it. We will then be able to shed the light of our awareness and our love into the darkness and see it for what it is, a disconnect from self and source, separation and division. And it is up to us to come back into unity. Bandidos, I'll leave it at that for this episode. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for witnessing. Thank you for holding space. I pray for all the children, all the mothers, all the parents, all the fathers, all the brothers, all the sisters. And I know we can do better. And that we will. And that we are. Charles and I have got your back. See you for episode 17 coming up right after this one.